Next Thursday is Thanksgiving here in the United States. And today on this live video, I would love to answer any questions you have about Thanksgiving. And I'd also like to get your opinion on some kind of funny quotes that I found about Thanksgiving. I picked a few that I could share with you so that you could learn a little bit about the culture of Thanksgiving. And also, I'll tell you why Americans might think these are funny. Some of them are not really that funny, but I'll tell you why some Americans would think that they are funny. So if you're here listening to me for the first time live, let me know. Or let me know where you're listening from. Hi, Simon. Nice to see you. Thanksgiving is always on the fourth Thursday in November in the United States. Now, when I say always, I mean since I have been alive. Previously, it was on the last Thursday of November, and that's how it was set by President Abraham Lincoln. But one time it fell on the fifth Thursday and made the Christmas shopping season shorter. So I believe it was President Roosevelt who said it would be on the third Thursday. But after many Americans complained, I think it was in the 40s, I'm not sure exactly, but Congress changed it so that now it's been on the fourth Thursday since that time. There's quite a bit of controversy over Thanksgiving now here in the United States. And if you'd like to learn more about that, I'll put some of the videos I have done in the description once I post this video. So if you're interested in learning more about this very common American holiday and the traditions and the culture, you're going to want to check out those videos next. So hello, everyone. Welcome to see you. I see Summer. I see someone here from Ukraine and Nashville. This is fabulous. So my first quote that I have to share with you today comes from Irma Bombeck. She's a humorist and writer. I remember reading some of her things when I was a kid. She hasn't been as popular more recently, but she's kind of witty. When I say witty, I mean she's funny, but in a very kind of intelligent way. Um, and this quote reminds me, pardon me, of the video I just posted this week about Thanksgiving, just about 4 or 5 days ago. If you haven't seen it, you're going to want to check that one out too. I'll put the link below. Irma says, and see if you can figure out why this would be funny. The quote is, I come from a family where gravy is considered a beverage. Gravy. If you watched my video, you might understand why this would be considered funny. Gravy, I typed the word in the chat here, is a sauce that we have at Thanksgiving, almost always on Thanksgiving. Some people have it at other times of the year. It isn't as common as when I was a child when we had gravy every week, sometimes a few times a week. Gravy is so delicious that a lot of times people will put it on all of their food. And I shared a little bit about that in my most recent video and a story from my family with that. But the reason that this would be considered funny by people here in the United States is when Irma says, I come from a family where gravy is considered a beverage, meaning they drink the gravy. What she means is the people in her family love gravy so much that they would drink it. Now, I don't think this is really true because that actually would be kind of gross. But what she means is they like to put a lot of gravy on their food. And especially around Thanksgiving, when one of the big parts, maybe the biggest part of Thanksgiving, is eating a lot of food with your family, this would be considered very funny and something that if you talked about this on Thanksgiving, everybody would laugh and think it's funny. My second quote, and while I read these, I'd like to know your thoughts. What do you think about this? Do you have gravy in your country or something like gravy? Is it something, or is there something else, I should say, that you love eating? Everyone loves it. It's so delicious. Write it in the comments here. One of the best ways to use these live videos is to ask questions and put your comments in the chat section here. And if you're watching and you don't know where the chat section is, if you make the image that I am on smaller, the chat should be on the side and you can see what everybody is writing and the things that I write in there as well. So the next quote is from Andre Kelly, who is a comedian, and he says, I got to go home for Thanksgiving and sit at the adults' table. That's because, somebody had to die for me to move up a plate. So at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, at big family gatherings, we have what we call the adults' table and the children's table. Is this something you do in your culture? Here in the United States, this is something we talk about a lot. People joke about what happens at the children's table. We typically have a very big table that has all the adults and sometimes the adults and children. But if somebody doesn't have a table big enough, they might have a little table to the side that is for children. In my family, it was thought of as a fun thing. In some families, people don't think of it as a fun thing. They think of it as not quite a punishment, but like a less than thing. That being at the adult table is more fun somehow. I think probably for me, being at the children's table was more fun. But this is funny because this person says that he got to sit at the adults' table because somebody had to die. In other words, there are no seats there unless somebody dies, then a child can sit at the adult table. Now, people would think this is funny because we talk about the adults' table and the children's table so much, particularly at Thanksgiving, but also at Christmas. Depends on your family. Some people have as big a dinner at Christmas as they do at Thanksgiving. Some have a bigger dinner, some have a smaller dinner. Now, at this point in my life, my family is very small and we are a little more laid back, meaning we're more relaxed about the holidays, which I really love because some of the jokes you'll hear about the holidays is how stressful it is. And I just don't get that. I don't understand why you would set up your holiday or your vacation to be stressful. So, some people find it stressful to spend time with their family. This is a really common in American culture, probably in other cultures as well, but in American culture, we I should say Americans really value their independence. They also value their families, but they find that when they get together as a family, they argue about things like politics and opinions and ideas. And so this becomes kind of a joke around the holidays. I'm wondering what you think or what holidays are like in your country. Write what your thoughts are here, or you can just click on the heart. I think I did the 100%. I meant to do the heart that you can see. Thank you so much for all the hearts. Okay, so the next one is from Damien Fahey. I'm not sure I'm saying this right. If you've ever watched The Family Guy, you'll know him as one of the voice actors of that television show. And he's also a DJ. He says, I'm looking forward to seeing pie this Thanksgiving more than members of my own family. So this is a joke about what I was just saying, that people will joke about wanting to eat pie, which is a dessert, or even the gravy or the food more than spending time with their family. They might actually not be joking, or they might be joking. Either way, we would think that that is funny because of the whole family thing. This is another one that plays off of that thing about family being stressful. but also that football is a big part of Thanksgiving for a lot of Americans. I'm not a huge football fan. I have watched a lot of football at Thanksgiving just because it's so common. It's like for some people, watching if you don't watch football, it's not Thanksgiving. That's not true for me, but here's a quote from Craig Ferguson, a comedian, who says, "I like football. I find it's an exciting strategic game. It's a great way to avoid conversation with your family at Thanksgiving." So the reason this is funny is you think he's talking about the strategy of the game football, but he's talking about the strategy where you watch the football and then you don't have to talk to your family. And if you're not talking, you're not arguing. So I'm curious what your questions are about Thanksgiving. If you have seen Thanksgiving on television or the movies, what do you think about it? Do you have a holiday similar to this in your country? I'd like to hear from you. So write your questions and your thoughts in the comments. And I have one more quote, which is actually not from a it's from an actor playing a character. The character is Joey Tribbiani, who you might be familiar with from the show Friends. Joey Tribbiani is one of our favorite characters in our family. And this quote says, "You can't have Thanksgiving without turkey. That's like 4th of July without apple pie or Friday with no two pizzas." Now, this is technically incorrect grammar. It's not correct the way he said it. We would not say no two pizzas. We would say Friday without two pizzas. But Joey's character on Friends was known for saying things incorrectly. And this was kind of endearing. When we say something is endearing, we mean somebody does something that makes them dear to us. And so this joke, or this quote, I should say, would definitely be something we would laugh about in my family. In fact, I think I'm going to make this quote uh, a tradition in our family, because especially Talia, my daughter, loves Joey from Friends. We all do. Um, he is one of our favorite characters. If you've watched Friends, what is one of your favorite characters from the TV show Friends? Put the name of are you a Monica fan? Maybe you also love Joey, or Ross, or Rachel, or Phoebe, or Chandler. Which one is one of your favorite characters? We have quotes about these characters that we talk about all the time in our family as if these are people that we knew, people who were actually friends, like in our day-to-day life. Of course, we've never met any of them in person, but some of us in my family have watched that show many, many times. I've seen it at least twice. I think I've maybe seen it 3 times. So I don't see any questions in the comments here. If you do have a last question, go ahead and put it there, or any of your comments about any of the things that I shared with you today about Thanksgiving, or the quotes that I shared with you. And if there are no other questions, then I think I will wrap it up, meaning I will finish up our conversation today. I see that Ewa says that they love Ross. It's so funny to hear why different people love different characters. Why do you love Ross? Somia says they're watching from Canada live. I'm going to just put an X here to move you up. Oh, you live in Montreal. Welcome. Welcome. What is your native country? Put your native country in the comments. I'm going to just make sure I didn't miss any questions. We don't have as many people today, which reminds me to let you know that there is only one more live before I will be taking a break for the end of the year. We won't have live videos in December. I will be getting ready for and celebrating Christmas. And I know that a lot of people all over the world are very, very busy in December. And so we won't have live videos in December. You can go back and watch some of the ones maybe you missed, or see some of the ones that you haven't seen for a while. Simba. Summer says Simba is a very cool character. Summer, do you mean Simba from The Lion King? I'm just curious because we were talking about friends. US says, I love his sense of humor. She's talking about Ross. We have some Ross moments that we talk about in our family, and my children imitate Ross. They act like him, they copy him, and it's so funny. We laugh and laugh. Fess Sefu is watching from Morocco. Welcome. It's so great to have you here. So I'm going to wrap up for today. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you had a chance to learn something about American culture. And if you do think of any other questions, you can put them in the comments when I post this video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.